Hi, Freddie here with the update for BeyondD6, and I never promised much last week. I told you that I'd be doing mainly database updates this week, along with a few other wee bits, and to tell the truth, that's pretty much what's happened. Although there's been a few key areas I've tidied up, there's not a lot to show. So if I go to the system, I'll walk through creating a character and point out the changes from there, I think. Okay, and my desktop. Here we go, and the login screen looks exactly the same. I suppose it's getting about time I started to look towards using a better login. I'm thinking about using a Facebook one, so anybody who's on Facebook will be able to create an account, and I won't have to handle people's personal details. They'll have a username, they'll be able to use the system. And that'll be it. So if we log in, and as always, this is running just on my desktop, as is the recording software, so the database, the server and all that, it's still a little slow, but it's not bad. So, we've logged straight into one of my characters. Let's go back to the main menu. Creating your characters are the same, there's nothing in these yet, although I've started to build a little behind the scenes towards them. If we have a look at my characters first of all. So, we've got 4 characters here. They're now separated into 2 rows. We've got incomplete characters, these 2, and published characters, which are these 2. So Billy Bob I created last week, who ended up as a male Rhodian. I can't remember if that's what he was. And Bob the Human here, which we've been working with since the first episode, who's now Alima Tuolin, a female Twi'lek. You can see though that Kanan and Billy Bob do not have the standard pictures, so if we just nip into them for a moment, you can see there's a character image upload panel here, and we can now upload the characters. So although the human description is there along with the standard species profile, when we go into the character himself, he's got a different picture. So for Kanan, I've used a picture of Kanan. I believe it was a standee. That's why it's got the wee Star Wars logo down the bottom. Got the equipment and character maintenance, which has add to campaign. I said I'd done some work on the background, and delete character. This doesn't do anything yet. It only appears for published characters though. Delete will take us to a screen that asks if we're sure. If we are, then it deletes everything. It goes through all the database files and deletes everything to do with this character. But otherwise, things are pretty much the same. If I go back to Bob the Human, who's gone through Bob the Gamorrean, and now is Alima the Twi'lek. Got all the different species. They're all sort of tidied up a little. Everything's in scrollable boxes, so if it takes up too much space. There's some extra equipment here. I've basically gone through the second edition, revised and expanded, and added everything you can have out of it. So we've got droids, which has all their stats in there. We've got starships. There was one ship I didn't add, which was the stats for the Millennium Falcon, since the chances of the players ending up with that are slim. I should perhaps trim these down because these are getting very long. So maybe it should only publish these in a small scrollable box as well. And vehicles. So we've got all the different vehicles out of the main rulebook. All of which can be added to a person's character sheet and will appear down in the corner here if the character has any equipment. But what I said I was going to do was I'm going to create a character. So we create new character. But I've added in the solo species now from my published solo rulebook. If we create a character, it's just going to be Freddie B's new character under the solo rules. So we've got a different range of options of species. Let's just go with Zabrak. Force sensitive, no. We'll make it a male. Update the character to get us our options. So now we've got generate name. Heath Sang. That sounds absolutely fine. We have Heath Sang, the male Zabrak. Got the background of Zabrak, his character sheet, and you'll notice that the starting dice aren't quite as high as they would normally have been, because it's automatically populated when we selected a species to make sure they met the minimums. Yes, I've yet to tidy that up. I've been saying that since week 1. But all those minimums are met, so the points we would have had to have spent have already been automatically spent for us. If I go back for a moment and change him to a Wookiee, because that will have the most remarkably different stats. That's the character. We see he's got 10 dice plus 1 remaining. Everything just meets the minimums. Anyway, we were creating as a Zabrak. Go back, we've got 6 dice remaining to be spent. Let's put the points into strength. Make him strong enough to resist damage. Missed the button there completely. Make him a bit percepty. Doing everything behind the scenes. 2 more dice. Blaster is always a handy one to have. To 6 dice. Oh, apparently I clicked it way more. 6 dice plus 2. He's really good with a blast over his land character. He's a bit of a con man. I think we're going to make him pretends to be a mystic sort of monk with him in his robes. Let's give him, what, a 5 dice plus 1 dodge. Got 1 dice left to spend. Survival. He knows how to survive with the wilderness. So we've spent his starting dice. He doesn't have any force skills to spend down here. Let's go into the character equipment. Give him blast vest. Ranged weapons. Though nobody ever chooses it, let's give him a sporting blaster rifle. I want him to be a bit like Hera. Let's go into droids and start him off with an astromech. He's got a reliable droid at his side. Anything else? General equipment, a breath mask, and a comlink. So there we go. We've got a sort of basic starting character. If I go back and update all that to make sure it all sticks. And we've now got finalize. Are we happy with everything we've given him? Yep. Finalize character. So we want to publish him? Yes. Wait for a moment. It comes up and he's now published. We don't get to choose his species or these things. He's only got one force point because he's not force sensitive. We could upload a picture. See what I've got here. Don't have anything exciting sitting here, just the stuff I've been doing from today's stats. Let's use that as his picture and we'll upload it. Tells us we've successfully published it. And character, and there's a picture. And that's us make a character. D6 is that easy now. And that's pretty much all I've got to say this week. I told you I'd be doing the tidying the database. This is all a lot tidier. We've now got images for all the equipment. The species descriptions are all tidied up. You know, easier to read. The random characters have all been removed. Oh, that doesn't look quite right. The resistance to physical pain looks untidy. There we go, just when I'm saying everything's tidier. I'll have a look in the database and fix that in 5 minutes. Anyway, that's the update for this week. Next week, I hope to have chat windows and shared character sheets between the player and the GM. So there should be 2 views. The GM's view, where he'll be able to see all his different players, and the players, where he'll be able to see his character sheet, roll on things, see the chat window, and when he rolls dice, it'll appear in the chat window. So you'll be able to say, you know, Freddy rolled blaster skill and the result in the chat. So when the Games Master asks you to roll something, you can roll it and the results are shared with him. I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.